everyone, welcome. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I am a bit too tired for this time. It's past 12 now, but I normally go to bed very late, especially now that I'm on a small career break. And in this period, you're always monitoring every symptom that you might have. If you feel a bit tired, you're like, oh my God, do I have COVID-19? Which I don't think I have. I think I'm just tired because I went to the supermarket today, and it's always such a stressful thing to do these days. It's something that I used to love. I love shopping, but now it's like going into a war zone. You have people that do not keep the safety distance, and I really hate them. You have to be careful everywhere you touch, and you have to think of so many things that it just drains you by the time you get home and you just feel like going to bed. Anyways, let's dive right in. So this video is about doing a career break, which is something that I have done last summer, and I can't recommend it enough to everyone. These days we live such hectic lives between home and work all the time. We go to work, we get back, we have dinner, we have 2 hours of TV, if that much, and then we go back to sleep and the routine repeats. So I think everybody should be asking the question, is this all there is to my life? And please don't tell me that you're one of those people who considers work as fun and part of your life and almost as good as being with friends, family, and going around and doing interesting stuff. It's not, and that's sad. I'm a strong believer that I work to live, I don't live to work. That is for sure. It doesn't mean I don't enjoy my work. I do, but I don't forget what it is about. It's a transaction. I am offering a service, and in exchange, my employer is rewarding me for that service with cash. Would I be doing that service for free, or would I be doing that service as a way to pass the time? Freaking no. But anyway, there's nothing we can do to change this. We have to work to live. We were not born rich, or at least some of us, and we have to earn money in some way. But it's important to step back and think. You get stuck into this routine, and by the time you finally have some free time, you will be probably in your 70s. And not saying that that's not an age to enjoy life as well, but you might not have the same energy or the same health that you have right now. I think this stage of your life is to be enjoyed as well, and more than any other stage, it is potentially the period that you can do more. So it is unfair that it's also the period that you are the most busy. So at some point last summer, and I had been thinking about this for a while, because during all my jobs, I never had a break period between jobs. I would always jump from one job to the other with maybe 1 week maximum gap. And I was working as a project manager for a pharmaceutical company. I was working on several studies that were very, very hectic. Some people in my team were not the easiest to deal with, so they would add to how hectic the job already is and sometimes create some unnecessary tensions and stress in the team. And I thought, this is the moment. If I'm going to have a gap, I'm going to do it now. So handed in my notice, I was a little bit worried of how hectic things were and what the reaction of my boss would be. But ultimately, remember that your employer would always get rid of you if they really needed to. So you should not care more for a company than they would care for you. It is your life. You only live once, and it is important to remember that. Now, being in my early 30s, I had a fair amount of savings, which were dedicated to other purposes, but there was this extra cushioning that I felt comfortable with, and I thought the world is not going to end if I take 3 or 4 months off work and just do whatever I feel like it. And in my case, it was traveling and spending time with family. So I live in the United Kingdom, and my family lives in Portugal, where I am originally from. We have a very strong connection and relationship, but I only get to spend time with them like 4 or maximum 5 times a year, and always for small periods of time. And I don't want to diverge too much, but there is a period as well that your parents and grandparents will bond the best with you, let's say, which is probably when you are in your early 30s or late 20s, because they are not too old and you're not too young as well and immature, so you can sort of maximize that relationship with them. So I thought, this is the moment. I wanted to spend more time with them, and this is time that you might never have the chance to have again with the people that you love. So it is important to also realize that. And in my opinion, there's no amount of money that you are making in your job that will be worth this time. The other thing was having more me time as well, which is important. Discover little projects that I wanted to do, sort of reflect about things, see that I was happy where I was going, and just have time to think, which you don't have normally when you're working like hectically like I was. So what exactly did I do with my time? I traveled. I went to Miami, which I had been before, and I had a great time, always a great time in Miami. Then I went to Mexico for the first time, so it was a new country, and it was amazing. There was lots of interesting experiences there, but maybe I'll go through that in a different video. Then I went to Canada. That wasn't for the first time, but for the second time, and I went to Toronto for the first time, so it was great. Then in terms of spending time with family, I went for a month and a half to spend time with my family, and obviously with my parents and also with my grandmothers. One of my grandmothers is 93 right now, so I want to obviously try to enjoy as much time with her as I can. And then I still had a little time for myself and to regenerate my brain, which I needed. So much so that when I found a new job, and that was pretty easy to find, I felt like refreshed, with a new attitude, much more patient. The other thing that I briefly want to mention is, like, obviously you don't have to do a career break. If you are happy the way you are and you don't want to take a break to think, it's just something that I found really worked for me, and I would recommend to anyone. If you are not doing one out of fear, that's not a good reason. Do not let fear drive your decisions in life. And you might be thinking, oh, what if I cannot find another job afterwards? Or what if I don't have enough money to do a career break, enough savings or something like that, and end up using more of my savings than I expect? Like, just generally, if you're coming out of a place of fear, maybe think, what's the worst that can happen? And I think the worst that can happen is that you're going to get back 3 or 4 months of your life while you're young, which perhaps you would regret for good once you're old, of not taking. Anyway guys, let's not keep this video too long. Remember, try to get back as much free time as you can from your life. No money is worth that. Our life is too short. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do click subscribe below. Do have a great day. Bye!